Can you talk about what are some common application level dependencies that are often overlooked in HA strategies?
Yeah. So once you get inside the systems at the level of the applications, the databases, it's easy to fall into the trap of just thinking that once those services can fail over, can be moved between systems, you have high availability. But all of those depend on other things on the systems. They depend on storage. If you're focused on your applications and you neglect the external databases that they rely on, if you neglect the networking components like your virtual IPs, your load balancers, then even if the application fails over, if it doesn't have the storage that it depends on to function properly, if it doesn't have the networking components that is required for clients to actually connect to the application, then you've still incurred a downtime, regardless of if the application moved or not, because it's not functioning properly.
Is it possible for you to share some examples where, because of lack of real world failure testing, it led to kind of unexpected outages?
Yeah, of course. And I see that as another symptom of the set it and forget it mindset we mentioned earlier. But I've definitely observed many instances where organizations have set up everything, followed the documentation, followed their internal run books. On paper, it's perfect. But for example, the run book was written a while back, or the documentation wasn't what covered you all of your specific needs. And because you never tested an actual robust failover procedure where you try to, for example, simulate an actual outage that would cause a failover, there are holes under there that you were not aware of. And then once the actual failover happens, that's when you're finding out about it, which is when, again, you need it to be working the most. Real world does not often follow those ideal on paper scenarios.
What steps can IT admins take to ensure that failover strategies keep up with changing environments that we just discussed?
So what I would say is the steps you take to keep up with it is just testing, updating, stay in contact with your partners, your providers for your HA solutions to make sure that you have the newest releases, that you're aware of any issues that might affect you and how to work around or remediate them, any patches you need to apply. Make sure that you're applying best practices as recommended by the provider for your applications, for your HA solutions, for your databases. And again, just back to the test it, because once you've done all of that, you need to make sure that you're actually covering your needs. You need to go in and block your networks. You need to cut power to your systems and make sure that the standbys can detect it. They can bring everything in service and make sure that your clients can actually connect to it. Anything external that depends on it can still function in that scenario.